Hi, my name is James Hardy. I'm here with Totally LA, and I'm here with Dr. Del Marmol for my second interview. And Dr. Del, can you please explain to us what you see happening here in America and in Cuba when you were doing your work? Can you briefly explain that?
My name is Dr. Julio Antonio del Marmol. I've been a spy, professional spy, master spy for over 60 years of my life. I come to be a spy in Cuba, where I work with Fidel Castro and his elite, being fresh a commander in chief, creating for Fidel Castro what is considered like Adolfo Hitler young youth army. He picked me because my father is a contributor, one of the most important financiers in the revolution, because he feel when he fresh meet me that I got the spice or the character or whatever you want to call the personality to direct his future army forces. And what I discovered very short time later, what really is going on and behind the curtains, and I see what Che Guevara told me that it will be completely nationalized, every cent from the phone company, telephone company, to the single hot dog stand in the street. Nobody going to own no business in Cuba no more, because they want to control the nation, and the only way to control the nation is using the economical sources. That is the only way they can make people do what they want to do. And not only that, the people will be have no other choice, because they will be the only one provide the bread and the butter. And if they don't do what they tell it to do, they will not get bread and butter and die hunger. And that is exactly what happened many years later in Cuba. But come back to my life in Cuba, I will let you know that this is not a tale you read in the book or you see in a movie. Or no. This is my life, what I saw every day. And what I saw in Cuba every day is exactly a photocopy of what is going on in the United States of America now. Why? Because they start with the same tactics. The pandemic, the rigging the elections, the tricks to elect the presidents they want, the forcing people to do things that they don't want to do, nationalize even the private accounts, the saving accounts, and the individuals in the private sector, because you cannot have more than $1,000 in the beginning in your bank, because it's considered capitalist and considered you a bourgeois, and you're not supposed to have that much money. Then they took your money away, leave you $1,000. At the beginning, I think it's $3,000. Then they go down to $1,000, and in a little while, nobody have nothing left. Okay, the government take all the money for everybody, the business for everybody, the cars, every single thing. You even want to move from one neighborhood to another, you cannot move out of your house. I have a permission to the government to negotiate a deal through the government, and see the government allow, then you can move and exchange your house for the other. You cannot sell your house no more. And we will say the private property cease to exist. All the freedom and liberties disappear. Anybody say anything against the government for whatever reason, the most rational thing that you have to be in line for hours in order to get a loaf of bread, they consider you an enemy, and they stigmatize those that speak against the government like a worms. They are worms. And then they put it in jail, they put it in concentration camp, they call it re-education camps. And it's exactly the same steps they took in those days. What I see is being happened today in America. Wow. This is unbelievable. And I saw with my own eyes this, not only in Cuba, in Venezuela, in Nicaragua, because the dream is controlled South and Central America, and through the same techniques and Machiavellic manners, penetrate United States of America, and accordingly with Che Guevara, are shooting a single weapon, a single bullet. They're going to take away your freedom to religion, your country, and everything you ever dreamed to have before. And when you realize it, unfortunately, it will be too late. Too late because you cannot defend yourself. The weapon is confiscated by the government. You don't even have a weapon to fight the government any longer because they consider it illegal. And anybody find in their house with a firearm, they consider it traitors, worms, and CIA. Believe it or not, people die in Cuba for hundreds of thousands, accused to be a CIA, and they don't even know what the hell the CIA mean.
Wow. I have another question. When it comes to the integrity elections, can you briefly explain, I know you kind of touched on that a little bit, but can you briefly explain how that is happening and what you saw in Cuba when it comes to elections integrity? Why is it important that we must take a stand and not just allow them to vote based on your experience?
The elections will be disappear for probably a decade or longer. There's no more elections in Cuba because they say that we don't need elections. In other words, and because they in control, they got the weapons, they got the control to the economy. Who is going to tell them no? It had to be elections. They annul the Congress, they annul the House of Representatives. Guys, they have exactly the same thing we have here now in Cuba. House of Representatives, senators, every single thing, the same system, and they dismantling the whole thing in less than a year. Okay? Now, let's coming back to this. What happened to the wealth? Everybody started to run out of Cuba because nobody want to live in there anymore. Well, now we're going after your passport. Take your passports away because only people supposed to be authorized to have passports are the people members of the government or the diplomatic attaches, groups, and circles. Any other individual no need to have a passport because they're not going to go anywhere. That is determined by an arbitrary, what they call it, amendments, because there's no constitution. They annul the constitution too. They dictated one single newspaper because they intervene all the newspapers. They have only one single newspaper, grammar, and then in that newspaper, only is printing what the government wants. Now, you are in a totalitarian, completely system where you cannot even leave your country. Then people start to see little boats, little planes to smuggling, leave Cuba, because everybody wants to get out of there. Who want to live in a system like that? Well, that is where they start the killing. Even families getting in little boats, try to escape Cuba. They send the jets with the Russian jet, the meat. And one of my friends survived one of those attacks, shooting in the ocean, killed the entire family. She is the only survivor. Why? Because it's an embarrassment for the Cuban government to see so many people leaving Cuba. And they had to stop it some way around the line. And they don't care if they had to kill families, entire families in the ocean. Thousands, it's not hundreds of thousands of people die in that, what we call in the Gulf of Mexico, because the Cuban government is an embarrassment to see so many people leaving Cuba. In other words, the democracy completely disappeared, and people live under that regime, controlled by 24 hours by fear, because you are afraid to anybody in the middle of the night knocking on your door, like the Gestapo in Germany, and pull you out of the house, like this gentleman inside a little while ago say, they coming to your house. Oh, they're going to come into your house. The minute you say something against the government or say something inappropriate, what they say now, Biden the other day, say misinformation. Anybody is misinforming the public going to be arrested or going to be charged. This is exactly what they did in there. In other words, you misinform the people, they call it a different name. You actually an enemy to the government. Right. For ended, they coming in the middle of the night, pick you up, and put it in the party wagons, and they ship you with no trial, nothing, to a concentration camp. They call it re-education camp.
Wow. And so my final question, Dr. Dale, is what can we do as Americans with all that is happening, everything you just explained, and we are seeing the tip of the iceberg, what is it that we can do right now, not later, right now, that can help put a stop to all of this? In a short answer, as best as you can.
This is not easy. This is something that's been in the process for over 60 or 70 years. It's not going to be easy. We've been sleeping. I've been telling even my people in the CIA, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, it's happening already. And people continue to deny it and say, no, it's not going to happen in the United States of America. This is a free country in the world. Well, it's happening right now, guys. Wake up. And I tell you, the only thing you can do is unify. United. Black, Chinese, white, whatever the hell race is, it's not making any difference. We're all brothers and sisters. And we're all going to be slaves. United. And tell these people, no. We're not going to accept you laws anymore. We're not going to accept that you actually controlling by machines and by the big corporations the vote. Who you're going to determine who is going to be my next president? No, no more. And then you guys get together like what we're doing right now. And most important, educating the new generation, educating the children. That's what we try to do. I got 5 comic books already in the market, and we're making a graphic novel to tell the children what is going to happen, because they don't know. And what you don't know that it's hot. You put your hand and you burn and you leave your skin in there. But see, you know, you don't do it. You say, no, that is hot. Then what they see communists, they say, no, hell with. Communists is the worst. They don't even they don't allow me to even believe in Jesus Christ, because they are the only power. And the reason they do that is because they don't want to people follow any God. They are the gods, the new gods. This gentleman here has been around me for over 25 years. It's been my private pilot. It's been my protector. It's been with me in many, many, many places. And for the first time, I put her in the camera because I never like to put her in the camera. He coming in the background sometimes. But I want to show you guys my gratitude for this man, because he's risking his life many times. As a professor of the martial arts, he is a champion, okay? He risked his life many times to keep me alive. This is what I call one of the most wonderful angels that Jesus sent to me, to keep me alive and be able to do what I'm doing and speak freely like I do it right now in the middle of the nowhere in the parking lot. Okay? All right? You have a great, great time, guys. God bless you. God bless you, United States of America. And please don't let I call this nation my adopted mother. Don't let my adopted mother go through the same suffering and the same misery that my real mother, Cuba, go through. Please, fight. Fight and tell these people in the face, no, no more. No more. We're not going to take this no more. Right. Okay? And reform the voting system, because the voting system is completely corrupt. And we got almost all the institutions in this country, they are corrupt. We have to start to pick the bad apples in all these institutions, CIA, FBI, everywhere. We got this bad seed. We have to start to take it out and flush it in the toilet. Okay? You have a great day, and God bless you.
We want to say thank you, Dr. Del Marmol.
Antonio del Marmol.
Julio Antonio del Marmol. All right.
You can go to Google and say, Google, who is the character, the Cuban Lightning? That's it. You don't have to even mention my name. You will see what happened.
All right. So you guys hear that? We really want to stand. This is not just somebody who's just has an opinion, who did some research and is giving his opinion. This is somebody who's lived it. This is somebody who's been there. And I want to encourage each and every one of you, please look up this information yourself. Follow him. Do your research. And please vote, vote, vote. And get out there. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what happens. We need to take a stand. And I encourage you all to take a stand. Thank you so very much. This is Totally LA with you. Have a great night. Good evening.
Thank you.